And welcome to Things You Might Have Heard, where we bring you yesterday's latest in information, politics, current events, and pop culture. Sometimes you can't get through the intro. We are your go to source for unconventional stories that the mainstream media might overlook and some that they spend way too much time on as well, to believe it or not. Please stand by as we take you on a ride as your news side piece and take good care of your news needs for those national anchors. You may have missed out on a couple pieces. As the T for the graphic says, we're going to talk about Denzel at Washington. We're going to get to him. It's not actually a story, but we'll explain that in a bit. But we do have 8 news stories from the past day that were vetted by you as conversational and then crafted by me to put into the narrative that is this morning's newscast. We'll explain how the vetting process works at about the 10, 12-minute mark when we're done with the headlines. So hang out for that. For more information about the full offerings of the Conversation Project, visit our website. This is a conversationproject.com. So let's get into headlines. We have 8 of them today. Great news stories that, like we said, vetted by you guys out there. Starting off with this one right here. Taiwan extends compulsory military service amid mounting tensions with China. Apologies for that right there. So Taiwan had a year-long compulsory military service for all people hitting the age of 18. This is something that many nations do, especially smaller nations, because they have to make sure the numbers are swollen enough in case of an emergency. Of course, Israel's famous for their conscription, having everyone basically running, all men and females, essentially a part of the Israeli army for some part of time. It's part of camaraderie that makes the country kind of gel together. Taiwan had about a year's worth, and this year they marked it down to about 4 months worth because there wasn't very much actual issue that they had to worry about pulling up troops. 2023, it goes back up to 1 year of compulsory duty. We'll see that because right now, after the glorious, well done work of the Russians invading Ukraine, the Chinese are thinking maybe they can do the same thing with Taiwan. Taiwan is an independent nation, and we as the United States and many nations see it as its own, but it also has direct ties to China, and China would like to just pull it back and get control of it. They also make a lot of money. A lot of things come through Taiwan, so that would be a big boon for the Chinese if they can work that out. So we're going to see how that works out going forward. Let's move on to the next story for this morning. Elon Musk Tesla's, the world's leading EV maker, is capping 2022 as one of S&P's 500's worst performing stocks. Very long, very hard to read, but you got it there. Tesla joined in for holiday cheer and basically is the bust at the Christmas party going down, as this has been one of Tesla's worst years ever, dealing with a lot of things. One, the Fed is just saying that the decline of Tesla stock is what it is, which was basically historically cheap by comparison, but now it's not offering very much in the way of valuation. Inflation, of course, having issues with that one, making it not so great to have the stock or to buy a Tesla, if you will. And the big issues with the fact that Elon Musk is owning it, not quite running it because he's focused on Twitter. That's been a thing going forward, that the Tesla stock is going down because Elon Musk is focusing on a new toy and not on Tesla. Will this be fixed? Probably not anytime soon. It'll probably take a little while for a rebound going forward, to be honest on this one. But Tesla is a very popular stock, very popular vehicle. One of the things that Tesla was sort of riding on was, while EVs, electronic vehicles, aren't in main demand, believe it or not, a lot of cool people want them. The whole spark was basically that at some point in time, Tesla can corner the market, and by corner, be about 10% of the market of electric cars. Right now, they're still at about 1, maybe 2%, because gas cars ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But it's just something to look into and keep an eye on for your stock and your Elon Musk watching it, to be honest. Let's move on to the next story. 23 notable creative works entering the public domain in 2023. What does that mean for you? Well, we already saw some weirdness with the horror movies versions of The Grinch and Winnie the Pooh that entered public domain and instantly became insanity. But there's a large list of books, 23 of them specifically, things that you probably have seen, books, movies, and musical compositions from 1927, which, 75 years, plus all the time they kind of finagle with it. At this point, everyone gets access to that. That's how it worked back in the day, and now it's becoming an issue where people are trying to hold on to their IP a little bit longer. It's not going to happen. Works going in public domain in 2023 include Winnie the Pooh, The Great Gatsby, Bambi. Also, some things going into are the first Hardy Boy books and Marcel Proust, Le Trimpt Retrouve, who I've never actually, I don't know what that is. A movie from the 20s called Wings. Also, Sunrise, the fourth list best movie in the 1920s, and Metropolis, which is, of course, one of the greatest movies of all time. So says some of those lists out there of things you might not have seen. Music, but selections by people like Bob Miley, Duke Ellington, Ira and George Gershwin, Louis Armstrong, Oscar Hammerstein the second, Jerome Kern, George Gard de Silva, that they will also go in public domain as well. Our next story is this one. Supreme Court blocks lifting of Trump-era Title 42 border policy. Supreme Court is holding on for now the Title 42 policy that keeps migrants from wandering from Mexico into the United States. This was levied because we were dealing with a lot of COVID-19 cases, and the whole point was we don't know where these people are and what they're containing. Basically, that's all it goes. It also just keeps a whole lot of migrants out of crossing the border that had to be taken care of immediately, essentially keeping them from going to asking for asylum and making them immediately set for deportation back to somewhere, if not across back the border or back to their home of origin. The Supreme Court is trying to, or basically have blocked Biden's want to get rid of it because we're not sure why. It's a stopgap. It does hold back the number of people who are crossing into the border because they're looking for legal asylum, looking to do this the right way, and they're just waiting for this to be lifted. This should have been lifted last week. It's so far been held on for about a week, and right now it's indefinite going on going forward. And the main reason why, the main explanation why, is there is no explanation to what to do about it, how to change it. There actually is no fix for what Title 42 was meant to do, at least on paper. And now there's no fix for that. So there's no replacement. You might remember the Obamacare thing. There was no actual replacement for Obamacare. So why are we getting rid of it? Same thing sort of applies for Supreme Court. 5-4 ruling, with Gorsuch, oddly enough, being the one who wrote the dissent, joining with the liberals, saying, not quite right yet. Go back and fix it before they go on to getting this thing going properly. FTX's Sam Bankman-Fried borrowed from Alameda to buy Robinhood shares. This is something that we kind of knew. We knew that he borrowed from Alameda to buy stuff and to basically fund FTX. Or let's go backwards. He borrowed from FTX to fund Alameda. Now we know he borrowed from Alameda to buy the big shares in Robinhood and some of the things that he got into. Literally stealing from Peter to rob Paul, or other mixed metaphors like that. What we're getting from this is that Sam Bankman-Fried was essentially bad at work, bad at lying, or actually good at lying, bad at being a general human being who did good things. Essentially stealing money from one pot to make money from pot without any notion that that's at some point you got to replace the money in the other pots. That never really happened, which is where things popped up. $56 million worth of Robinhood shares was bought via the borrowing, we're in air quotes that one, borrowing from Alameda from money that was borrowed from FTX to kind of keep Alameda going. Sam Bankman-Fried is going to see a lot of jail time when all these things get washed out and we figure out what exactly to throw at him. Sorry, lost my script. Lizzo breaks down in tears after flutist James Galway sends her a personal Christmas greeting. We teased this yesterday, and you made my post-Christmas miracle happen because we're going to talk about Lizzo very quickly. She got a holiday greeting from Sir James Galway, who said that he was her #1 fan, and she cried when she revealed the post that she got from that. Of course, Lizzo calls herself just a band geek and said all she did was playing flute before she actually gained stardom and became a big-time pop star and dancer and all sorts of stuff. But her background, her training is literally classical flute. She can play flute with any orchestra that she feels like, and she can do it, while doing twerking at the same time. That didn't work out either. So we're going to roll on back to the next story on this one, because this is one that's been floating for a few days, but we needed a good write-up to get into, and we've got one finally. NC, that's North Carolina, Chick-fil-A fined after paying workers with free meals instead of a wage. Labor Department says. U.S. Department of Labor fined a North Carolina Chick-fil-A $6,400, which doesn't sound like a lot being at Chick-fil-A, for violating federal child labor and minimum wage regulations. The restaurant allowed 3 workers under the age of 18 to operate as trash compactors. The same Chick-fil-A location faced stiff public backlash in July when it posted a request for social media for volunteers to work the restaurant's new drive-through express, because the people standing in line at Chick-fil-A's. Henderson Restaurant has been fined for child labor violations before and had to pay workers in cash or legal tender for hours work. Here's a tip, kids. Don't take Chick-fil-A for chicken. Don't work with Chick-fil-A for just chicken. It's great chicken, but you got to get some cash. And finally, Mega Millions jackpot hits $565 million, sixth largest prize in lottery's history, sixth largest prize in lottery's history, sixth largest prize in lottery's history. It's not quite at the $1 billion, $1.2 billion, $1.4 billion, I think got to last go around, but now it's in a place where people are going to pay attention and start playing it. The sixth largest prize at 565 mil, not a bad payout if you can get it. If you get it, the annuity will be about 2/3 of that. A third goes in taxes, and that's a pretty good payoff on there. Of course, you can take it forever in the the annuity, 20 years. The cash payout about 2/3 of that number right there. The smart money is always take the cash payout, because money now is worth more than money later. But annuities make sure that things are there. That's sort of how things get funded. Let's move on to a tease for today, if you will. Today's teaser happens to be this story right here. Kari Lake appeals judge's dismissal of Arizona election challenge. Now, this may not be what we focus on, as we have news, and we'll post very soon a story about Kari Lake now being told she has to pay back the person that she lost to in the election race for damages and things like that. But if you want to talk about Kari Lake in general, find a story on Kari Lake and you can make it happen. And it's simple. Follow us on our feeds on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/thisistheconversation and twitter.com/th_conversation, where you can see every 50 minutes a news story headline posted in the feeds. Read it, engage with it, like it, love it, hate it, share it. The more engagement you give to the story, the better chance that you will have to see it talked about the next day. You engage enough with the Lizzo story to have it up here, and we have it right there as well. Now, we get about 30 to 35 stories within the range of 30 hours. For the day. So what happens is we take the top 15 stories and then we vet that down to 8. That's how we got the 8 stories you have today. If you're not seeing the story that you engaged in, or not seeing stories being posted that you'd like to engage in, just reply back. We'll see what we can do to get them in there and see if there's stories that are 2-3 day stories and put them back in the cycle. We'll do what we can on that one. Right now, let's step off the time for the teases, and let's not tease. Let's talk financials. Let's talk money, but let's also talk knowledge and wisdom. The Blinkist app is a way to get some time back with knowledge and wisdom for a whole little bit less money. What does it do? When you go to Blinkist, you download the app and you get books that are summarized for you to read or listen to as audio or as reading visual books in usually about 15 minutes or less. So a 4-hour book can be summed down into about 12 to 15 minutes. A 12-hour book summed down maybe to about 15 to 20 minutes. One of those 24-hour very large tomes, I just read something very large a few months ago. It was basically 24 hours worth of audiobook. That version of the book was on Blinkist, and it was only down to about an hour. What do you say about that? It Blinkist boils down the main points of books into blinks that you can read or you can listen to, nonfiction books and autobiographies. And the really cool thing about Blinkist is you can share it with a friend. You get one account, you can share your Blinkist account with someone else, and the gift of reading in short bursts is given to you, from you to them, something like that. Check it out at thisistheconversationproject.com/Blinkist. This is theconversationproject.com/Blinkist. Blinkist is spelled Blinkist. If you want to see more sponsors of the Conversation Project, check out our main page and go to the sponsors page at the main page, but goes directly to this one. This is affiliate link that we do get a little bit piece from, so thank you for that. But check it out, Blinkist today. Let's talk about the Conversation Project again directly. The Conversation Project is the home for this thing here, where things you might have heard and other projects are there to bring in news, ideas, and current events and get people from literally around the world to have great conversations and great interactions with them. You can see the full list of shows we have at the website. You can visit our sponsors page and our partnerships page to help us keep things going. And you can see where we are in the world. We have a YouTube page, we have a Facebook page and Twitter page. Let's talk about those. We're on TikTok and Instagram. We are all over the place, and we're doing great things with great people, and you can be a part of them as well. The biggest thing I want you to check out is the listing of other programs that we're going to basically do more push relaunch for January of 2023. We're going to do the interview program. We're going to do the You're Welcome podcast. We'll see a lot more stuff coming from us there. See what they are, get prepared, sign up for them wherever you want them to be via our website. All the links are there. Let's go to today things to keep things going for today. Starting off with birthdays on the 28th of December. We told you not to worry about Denzel Washington. That's why we posted the meme image in the top. Denzel Washington turning 68 years old on the day. I've had it on record that I want the person playing me in the biopic of me to be Jay Farrow doing the Denzel Washington impression. I just find that hilarious. His twin, at least birthday twin, Gayle King, turning 68 years old today. I left the is for Gayle, which I should not have, bad editing. But Gayle King, of course, is a media personality for a long time and now a host on CBS This Morning. And, of course, Oprah's best friend is also 68. And a person who played a twin, Miles Brown, playing a twin on Blackish, is 18 years old today. Not a real twin, but played a twin. So it sort of reaches out into that little theme we had going on. Today we celebrate, we give honor to Chocolate Candy Day. Any kind of chocolate candy you want to, just go out there and get there. Now, the description said if you missed out on all the candy for Halloween or maybe Valentine's Day or whatever I had for Christmas, go ahead and stock up now because it's Chocolate Candy Day. Why the 20th of December? They had to put it somewhere, but today is a great day to grab some chocolate and enjoy yourself. One more thing you might not have heard out the door. A study by some psychologists in the UK found that 9 out of 10 New York's resolutions are doomed to failure. 9 out of 10, they're not going to happen. University of Hertfordshire, exactly, study found that the attempts at 3,000 volunteers to stick to their resolutions. At the start of the year, 52% said they were confident of success. That's about half. But at the end of the year, only 12% had achieved the goal. Men were more likely to succeed when they set themselves goals, such as losing a pound a week, or when they focused on rewards, such as being more attractive to women. Women were more successful if they told their friends and family about their resolution and if they were encouraged not to give up just because they had slipped back into old habits. So my deal on resolutions is not that they are useless. It's sort of the, I claim because it's the first of the year that I'm doing all these great things. Timing. It's basically forcing yourself and stretch yourself out to do something because people are looking at you do things. You can set a new goal, a new resolution anytime you feel like it. And if you follow me on the social media, look for my podcast, which is 10-Minute Life Lesson Podcast. Come tomorrow, we're going to actually this evening post to Wednesday into Thursday. We're going to get a episode that's going to help you set goals. It's my ultimate goal setting plan. And once you learn it, you'll never need another goal setting plan again. So check it out if you want to get some cross promotion to what we have going on. In the meantime, check out of here. We're Wednesday, 28th December edition of Things You Might Have Heard. Thank you so much for being with us for the program today. Proud, blessed, grateful to have you here. Thank you for having us, for working with us through all the work we're doing. There's a lot of things that are making this thing a little new, a little slower, a little kind of pace-wise. We're working to pick that up as quickly as possible. I have an actual script over here to my right that I'm reading through with notes going on, and we're just looking for a little help, some writers and some folks to help trim things up so we can make things a little faster. Plus, probably need some bigger monitors and things like that. Teleprompter would be nice. So you can help me out my Christmas list next year by going to our main website and checking out the sponsors or checking out the partnerships page there as well. It says sponsors at the bottom as well. In the meantime, the most important part of this thing is I need you to stay hydrated and stay limber and stay on task because I need you to be around for yourself. We like you here. We love you here. We know those other folks out there love you as well. I need more of you as well. With that, before the hiccup comes, missed it. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And happy birthday, Denzel.